Hey, 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 it's Desi from Fashion Insiders, the place to be for fashion entrepreneurs looking to launch, grow, or scale their fashion brands. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about testing, product testing for your brand, which is super important for the quality and reputation of your brand. But before I continue, you know what to do. If you haven't signed up on the button below, subscribe to our channel and click on the little bell to be the first one to know when we release a new video, which is every Thursday, every week. Now, as when you launch a brand, the reputation that you would be building over time of your brand, of yourself as the founder, and of your product is paramount to the success and longevity of your brand. And quality is super important. In today's fashion industry that is so oversaturated with new brands launching absolutely every single day, your quality and design, but the quality of your products especially, is what will underpin your success. It is what would make people loyal and continue buying from you repeatedly. So, if you're small and don't have the budget to contract big testing houses and work with them and ensure that they make in advance tests to your products, what can you do? Can you do anything yourself? Absolutely. So let me tell you a few things that you should be doing as a brand to ensure the quality of your products. First of all, when you're buying raw materials, whether that's fabric or leather goods, perhaps, and any material that you're working, you should be speaking to your manufacturer or your supplier and finding out what kind of tests they already do in-house. Very often, fabric mills and leather tanneries will do internally tests on their products. So for fabrics, for instance, they might be doing a stretch test, they might be doing a strength test, as well as lots of other tests. And for leather, tanneries will usually do light fastness test, wet and dry rub, strength test, potentially, etc. So you really need to speak to your supplier and find out what is it that they already do, and they can supply you with the information. Second thing that you can do that is even more important is once you have created your products, you should be wear testing them and testing them yourself, and you can easily do that yourself. Now, here's some ideas. If you are making garments, it would be great if you can allow a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, and wear that product. Wear it as if your customer would. Take it and wear it outside, go to work with it, or go out in the evening with it. Wash it, dry clean it, do anything that a normal customer would do with your product and see how that behaves. Also, another thing that you can do is you can take your product and try to, pull the seams apart and see if the thread is, withholding that pressure. It's called a strength test, and just see at what point potentially would the thread be giving out. And if that happens very easily, you have a problem and you should be speaking to your manufacturer. If you are making accessories made out of leather or faux leather, things like bags, for example, it's really important to stuff them up, put as many things that you would, even more than you would normally carry in a bag, because you don't know. Some customers might, have a lot more stuff to put in a bag than you, and carry it around and see how does the bag shape changes, does the bag loses its shape, its form, the seams starting to give out, etc. Another test that you can do with products is for functionality. Let's say that you're, for instance, making purses and you're going to put coins and notes and credit cards. Take your own money and stuff the purse and try to put all your credit cards, put banknotes of different even currencies, coins, shake it up, carry it around and see, does it open up? Are the coins falling out? Are the notes scrunched? These are really important little details that annoy customers, and perhaps if they bought something from you and your product exhibits this type of problems, they might return it or not come back as a repeat customer in the future. So it's really important that you think of all the different eventualities that can happen with your product. Another thing that you can do is if you are doing jewelry, for example, working with silver, it is really important to find out in what circumstances is the silver tarnishing. If you were to make a ring and it's put away in the bathroom on a little plate, like so many of us potentially leave our jewelry laying around, or if you put it into a little pouch and store it because you're not wearing it every day, at what point will it start tarnishing? That's important information to relay also to your customers, and perhaps advise them that this product will tarnish over time and how to handle it, what to do about it. If you are working with leather, as I mentioned earlier, there are certain tests that you can perform at home really easily and test the quality of the leather. For example, there's a test called wet and dry rub, and you can basically take a little piece of leather before you go into production or on your product. But ideally, you should be doing it before so that you're not using the wrong type of leather. But you can take a piece of sellotape, stick it on top of the leather, then remove it and see whether the top coating of the leather comes off. If that happens, then you have a problem and you should be speaking to your supplier. You can also expose it to drop a few drops of water and see when you wipe it out what happens. Does the leather or the material easily recover and looks like nothing happened to it, or does it leave stains? Very often it does. And again, that's a cause for concern and you should be talking to your supplier. Now, the best way to approach all of this user wear testing is to begin with, list on a piece of paper what are all the possible things that can happen to your product that would make a customer return them, or that would make a customer complain, or that you have heard other people complain about this similar type of products, or something perhaps you have experienced that, with the type of product that you're creating. Speak to your friends, get their feedback, but basically create a list of all the different things that can potentially be going wrong and test for them. One by one, just try to eliminate and test and see how your product compares, how your product performs to these potential problems, and make a note of it. Now, the second advice I have for you is that you should perhaps get a friend to also wear a test, because if the product is yours, you might be a little bit precious about it and not put it through a rigorous testing. So give one sample if you have spare to a friend and ask them to wear a test for you. But if you do that, and even when you're doing it yourself, my tip number 3 and advice would be that if you're going to be wear testing it yourself or a friend, that you create a document, list all the different items for which you will be testing, and start documenting it. Perhaps if after 2 days something happens to the product, just document it a little bit like a diary. If you wash it, what happened? How did it look before? Perhaps visually document it and visually then take pictures after the washing. How did it perform? Did something happen to it? Did it shrink? Did it lose shape, etc.? So it's really important to document this over a period of time and see what really happens in reality to your product, because whatever happens to your product now while you're testing it would happen to your customers. And while it is yours and you might not mind certain things, people who pay for your product will really mind for anything little that happens to that product that is different or makes it different from the shape, form, color, size, etc. that they bought it at. So you really can't afford to take the risk to lose the loyalty of these customers, to disappoint them, and to get them to a point where they return it or they just discard it, never think of it again. They're unhappy about it and they never come back to your brand again. Now, if you're a small brand and you don't have a budget to work with big houses, big testing houses, as I said before, that is absolutely fine. I've given you quite a few pointers of what you can do yourself. You can also do some Google research, a little bit more on product testing for your product and product category and find out more about it. But another point or another advice I might have for you is to actually Google up some testing houses and go on their websites, read their blogs, have a little look at for the type of product and material that you're using, what kind of tests they recommend that they're doing, and educate yourself on these tests and talk to them after that, to your supplier of the raw material, to your manufacturer, and constantly be evolving and learning more about the testing of your products. Some testing houses also offer tours or offer short courses where they would educate you more. Or you might even just, pick up the phone and call someone there and just have a little chat as if you are planning to work with them, which you might do in the future. But just have a little chat, tell them what you're doing, and just ask them for their advice as to how to approach the testing of your product. What are the pitfalls? What are the danger signs? What is it that you should be looking out for, testing, checking, speaking to your suppliers about? A lot of these people, this is their business. They know that even if you're starting out, in the future, hopefully, you would become a bigger brand with a budget for testing. So talking to you is not a problem for them. They would give you the basic advice and be helpful so that you have a good experience and in the future go back to using them. So I hope this was helpful and that you will consider and put into practice some kind of testing before you release your products onto the market. And therefore, you ensure that your quality is top notch and that your customers remain loyal to you and refer you to others, not only because of your design, but also because of the quality of your product. So if you like this video, like I said before at the beginning, click and subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments. I read all of them and I would answer any questions you may have. And I'll see you at the next video. Thank you.